Welcome back to Seen It Before, where we're probably going to say something stupid about your favorite movie because we've seen it all before. I'm Danny.
A little stutter step there.
I did,
you almost messed it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
That's fine.
You know. At least I don't have to have a script like we used to.
Yeah.
You know, so I always forget it.
It took you so long to memorize that one thing, and it was just, I still can't memorize the Duel of the Debates
I'm going to convince you to, I'm going to write a script for you for Duel of the Debates, and you're going to read it every single time.
That is fine, because I'll have to do the same exact thing and memorize it. Anyway, this isn't Duel of the Debates. This is Regular Seen It Before podcast, and we're watching good old Once Upon a Time in Hollywood this week. So, well, there we go. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood this week.
Yeah. The glare.
We have two guests.
Two guests this time.
Yeah, we got Cameron and we got Gavin. Gavin, you've been on before for our Spider-Man 2 podcast.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
It was a great time.
Always good talking Spider-Man. Cam, it's good to have you on. We've talked a lot about movies at work and recently, and it's been a great time.
Yes,
Very knowledgeable, especially with Quentin Tarantino stuff. And you have his new book. Right
yes,
here.
yeah. Let me grab it.
Yeah, go ahead, grab it. So, what's the deal with this new book? Like, what's it about?
It was published November of this year. It is Cinema Speculation. It's a nonfiction book. It's kind of his first foray into film history, kind of like the 70s. So it's just a little bit after the time period of the movie that we're talking about today. It's really fascinating. He talks about movies like Taxi Driver, Dirty Harry, just kind of this fountain of information. It's like 300 pages, and he talks about like 500 movies.
Wow.
It's just a lot to get through. And there's also a fun little behind the scenes of his developing cinephilia. So it's really good, and I highly recommend it if you're a big movie nerd like I think we are.
Yeah, like all of us.
Yeah.
The cinephile stream, in other words.
Very much.
Now let's fix this one.
Yep.
We watched Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I don't know. It's got Brad Pitt and Leonardo.
Sorry, I should have done that during the intro.
You go.
We should have done that during the intro. Whatever. Anyway, it's fine. Let's get to it.
The kings of introductions.
That one's actually not even close to our worst one.
So on the last Duel of the Debates, like he like stumbled like 3 times, and Miguel was just like, it was way better than like the last 5.
I know, dude. See, it's getting better.
Well, it's funny because you're just like, welcome back to Duel of the Debates. Housekeeping. Let's follow us.
Yeah, follow us, please.
It is just funny because like on his camera shot, like I have it set up through that window, so you see me in the background just going like, like every time.
He's just like
we just like we're having it.
So Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, guys. So it's Quentin Tarantino's love letter to the 1960s, kind of, is what I've heard him describe it as. Correct? Yeah?
No, I totally agree.
Yeah.
Sharon Tate's feet.
Sharon Tate's feet, there's feet in general in this whole movie.
Yes.
I mean, it's all dirty, coffee grounds and whatnot on their feet to make it look dirty. I don't know. I think I read something like that.
Okay.
It was like weird. It was like wet coffee grounds and then something else mixed with it. I don't know. Something weird like that. But yeah, the first note I really have, where is it? Oh, that's my trivia. Oh,
Besides
boy.
the feet.
Oh, boy.
Let's move past the feet.
That's the number one thing about.
Yeah, I put all my trivia at the top of my notes. Anyway, so.
Fun fact: they use Uma Thurman as a stand-in for the feet.
Wow.
Did they really?
No.
Oh, thank God. Oh, my God. All right. Anyway, so we starts off with, all the, what's the show called in the movie? I totally forgot.
Bounty Law.
Yeah, Bounty Law. We get to see a little intro with Brad Pitt and Leo. Jesus.
Leo.
Rick Dalton and...
Rick Dalton, that's his name.
Rick Dalton.
You're talking about
And
Cliff. I'm just like,
someone.
Yeah, that's
the other guy's name.
Dude, when we first saw this movie, Brad Pitt blew me away. I love
my
Brad Pitt in this
God.
fucking movie. He's so good.
Won the Oscar for it.
Exactly.
And
He's so good.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's so just nonchalant in the role. It's just like...
Yeah, I mean, Brad Pitt's just like, he's kind of like an underrated, but like it's weird because it's like he's so famous and like well known for being a good actor, but I think everyone says like, oh, he's handsome first. I think he's a good actor, like in general. Like, you have so many iconic roles like Fight Club, others.
Yeah.
They're not coming to mind.
Inglourious Basterds.
Inglourious Basterds. You're fighting in the basement.
Yeah.
He kind of had a lull, like after World War Z, where he didn't do anything for like 4 or 5 years, and then really just kind of came back.
Well, I mean,
And now he's
speaking
doing-
of lulls,
yeah,
well, what we got? The Revenant in 2017.
Which he finally won the Oscar for.
Yeah.
And then it's not until 2019 when he comes back for Rick Dalton.
True. I mean, they took some time and they've come back and they've both kind of been doing a lot of stuff. Like, well, maybe not Leo as much.
Yeah.
But
Don't Look Up, that was kind of it.
I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to talk about
Well, the major talking point about Leo now is just his dating.
Yes.
His dating past, But like, so
I think
actually,
his Italian wife, I think in the movie, she's age appropriate.
he gets good. That's
I saw a theory though about that. You know how like he's like everyone just assumes that he breaks up with them. I was like, 25, too old. Some girl did a deep dive on TikTok and it's like, apparently on the set of Titanic, he would always like fart in his coat and put it over Kate Winslet's face. He thinks it's the funniest thing ever. He was like 25 at the time, right? So then her apparently there was an interview for Don't Look Up where Jonah Hill had like a fart machine or whatever. And like it went off, he's like, and everyone's like, oh, ha, 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 fart machine is so funny. And they're moving on. But Leo can't move on. He just keeps laughing and laughing. So this girl on TikTok, her theory is that, Leo's just so immature that once the girls turn 25, they're like, okay, you're too immature for me. So they're breaking up with him.
Oh, that's interesting. Oh, I haven't heard that.
All right. I like that.
That's the new
It's
theory.
TikTok research,
Yeah.
Very, very reliable.
But yeah, let's talk about that first scene. We get all the clips of Bounty Law. We get everything else. The flamethrower scene, everything.
Yes.
Die, you Nazi bastards! Oh my god!
Anyone order fried sauerkraut?
Oh, yes.
What a
So
line!
good.
Gorgeous.
Classic
Little callback
Tarantino
to
one-liner.
Inglourious. Yeah, it was
Yes.
great. Don't cry in front of the Mexicans.
Don't cry. For the Mexicans.
I forgot about that one.
God, yeah.
That has like the same energy of like from Infinity War. It's just like you're embarrassing me in front of the wizards.
Yeah, it does. It really does.
That scene is lovely when we get to meet Al Pacino as the agent, Marvin Schwartz, not Schwartz.
Schwartz.
Which I think he's channeling a little Mel Brooks there. Which I
Maybe.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, now I think about it. Yeah,
And it does a great job at establishing Rick as this just kind of sad actor. He's stuttering, he's clumsy, and he's like very self-deprecating, which I really find interesting. Because he's like, oh, I'm sorry you had to watch my movies. Like, no, that's what an agent does. He watches movies. So it's like, it's okay, Rick.
Well, I wonder if that's how like actual like big name actors are, where they're like really not exactly humble, but almost ashamed of themselves.
Right.
So like then they're going to these agents and being but like their whole thing is that they have to act. A lot of roles they have to act confident. They're leading men or leading ladies. They have to act confident in their role. So it's like maybe they use up all that energy being this other person, and they're just like literally the opposite.
They become a body.
Yeah.
They're just like, I don't want to do anything. That's why you got to take 3 or 4 years off and just
Recuperate
from a big role like that. Yeah,
Honestly.
I get it.
Especially cool because he's doing Bounty Law at this time, so he's like doing shoots every week, year round. So he's got to probably be exhausted by being I forgot the Jake something.
Jake Cahill.
Jake
Jake
Cahill.
Cahill. Oh, yeah, so many names to memorize in this movie. It's ridiculous.
And as they're leaving, we get that nice shot. It's kind of lower, and you see Oldest in Hollywood on the bar's billboard behind Rick, and it's almost like this looming threat of like, oh God, I'm getting old. I'm not going to be Jake Cahill forever.
So he's probably I assume that Tarantino's kind of doing like modeling Rick Dalton after like probably what's his name?
Clint Eastwood.
Oh, I was thinking
well, that's
the other
not-
guy.
yeah.
He played
I know who you're talking about.
he played Genghis Khan.
Oh, Ricardo Montalban.
No, not him. Stagecoach.
John Wayne?
John Wayne, yeah.
John Wayne.
How did I forget his name? I was thinking Johnny
I was thinking of
Cash.
Khan from
Johnny
Star
Cat.
Trek.
Well, I mean, you're not far off.
I was thinking of Genghis Khan. I was thinking of Khan from Star Trek.
That'd be hilarious. He's just like,
That'd be weird.
He's like speaking over like the thing. He's like, I'm Khan, Pilgrim.
But yeah, as you mentioned, like, the distant Hollywood inside and everything, this movie did such a great job with, set design and just making everything look like the 60s. They shut down that highway for like weeks on end from like 12 p.m. to 2 a.m. every night to get that one shot. And it's ridiculous. Like, you can see some of the behind the scenes footage of them making that, and it's wild.
Yeah, I mean, if anyone has the Blu-ray, there's a lot of really good special features, not only about the set design, but also just the cars. There's a whole featurette just about how great the cars are in this movie. And I've got a buddy at college that we watched it with, and he's a big car head, and he was just like drooling the entire time.
We know a big car head as well.
Yeah.
Yep. A guy we always bring up on this podcast anyway.
Yeah, he likes Nazis.
He likes Nazis.
He doesn't like them. He just brings them up a lot.
Oh, Kanye West?
This movie won Oscars for writing and direct. No,
Probably nominated though, right? Like
It was nominated.
I assume it. Yeah,
It was
because Tarantino always
nominated.
gets
Oscars.
What did
nominated.
it win for? I think it won two.
Supporting.
Supporting, yep.
Production design.
I think that's it, right?
I'm blanking on the other
I
two.
think it's those.
The one he obviously won for writing at least. Or he won the Palme
Django.
d'Or. Oh, he won the Oscar for Django. Did he win the Oscar for Pulp Fiction too? Or I know he won the Palme d'Or for that. But
Yep, yeah. Palme d'Or and
It was nominated for like everything, basically.
yes.
So, but yeah, only one production design. And
Did Ennio Morricone do this score too? Or
there's no score in the movie.
there isn't.
It's
No,
really
it's-
interesting. It's mostly pop soundtrack. The only score comes in at the very end when you've got that incredible crane shot as Rick's walking up to
Yeah.
the Polanski house. And that score is borrowed from an old Paul Newman Western, The Life and Times of Roy Bean Hill, which is really good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny because that's like my favorite. That was like my favorite music in the whole thing. I was like, oh man, there's like an original score in this, but I guess
No, it's lifted.
okay. Well,
Yeah,
you know, it worked really well. I mean, I like that scene a lot. but-
Yeah. Do you wish there was more original music in it?
I mean, I feel like the way it's set up, like with just the pop music, I feel like that works good enough, you know, because they're trying to establish like the 1960s, which I feel like the first 30 minutes of the movie is just like we're in the 60s. This is the 60s, and they do like such a good job with just like setting it up and like all the products at the time and the TV shows. I also like whenever they're driving in the car, you like hear the radio and you hear like whatever they're listening to, like music wise, or just like ads to from like
Mug root
old-
beer.
Oh yeah.
Mentioned mug. There's tanning. The tanning products come up. Perfume's another one. If you have the CD of the soundtrack, it keeps all the old radio plugs. Which actually, the radio station that they use, 93 KHJ, that's an actual radio station from the 60s. And on YouTube, there's a guy who has like archived a bunch of hours from the radio station. And it's like the same announcer and everything. I guess they must have licensed it or something. But
Yeah, I bet you he got paid really well by the studio for them to use it in the movie. Like, what a random thing to just be like, you know, like,
know.
I'm just a real big fan of, an audiophile. I just like collecting all this stuff. And then a major studio, like Tarantino comes up to you, he's like, I want to use your entire YouTube channel for the background of this movie. Like, that's going to be crazy.
yeah.
I think they linger a little too long on some of these scenes with them just driving through things. That's why this movie is 2 hours and 40 minutes long. It's like probably 10, 15 of it is literally just scenery.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, it's great.
this movie doesn't have a story until maybe the last half, and that's
The
and
third
even then
act,
it's just
basically.
very, very thin. Anyway, it's just people remember this movie just for the big ending scene.
We'll get to
Yeah,
that.
well, like I know you were saying like it's your favorite Tarantino movie, and I was wondering like the entire time like going into it, I think I was like 30 or 40 minutes in, I was like, so what's the story? What am I trying to like watch right now? Like, yeah.
The thing with Tarantino is like all of his movies are really well structured, right? Pulp Fiction, non-chronological. Reservoir Dogs has that awesome wraparound thing. The thing that I love about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it's something that an English reviewer said, Robbie Carlin, he said, it's a movie where people are running out of time and all they do is waste time in the movie.
Yeah,
And I think that's the thesis.
That's perfect.
honestly,
Yeah.
Because it's 69, the Manson family, I mean, you've got that awesome shot where they're like coming out of like the haze and everything. Like that's what you're thinking in the back of your mind. You're like, oh God, this movie's going to end in
Yeah,
Glorious
you're seeing
Bastard
it.
style, bloodbath. And I think Tarantino
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
subverts
he
that
set
in
it
a
up
way.
pretty well
Yeah.
for that.
Well, that's what I like about Tarantino, because like his rewriting of history. No other property or any media is really like making it sort of like I was just thinking about this like when I was getting ready today. Like the only other thing I can really think of that does tries to like change history, it's the full premise of the thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like 11/22/63, the whole premise is going back in time trying to stop the JFK assassination. And then even on that, it has dire consequences in the future timeline now. But this one, Tarantino just like he tells a story mostly about nothing, and then he just like, oh, I want to save Sharon Tate.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know, he's like, oh, I just fix this little, correction. And like in Glorious Bastards, he's like, okay, I want to kill Hitler in my movie. Okay, do it. And it just, he doesn't have to give a crap about the future timeline. He just does it, and like, it's like righting the wrongs of history.
I think this is a movie where he's finally taking away his ego, and he's like, no, I'm just going to be in service of the story.
Yeah,
and that's what I love about it.
Love that.
The non-existent story. Yeah, but I like it's kind of like a Dazed and Confused / like Everybody Wants Some kind of thing, where it's like we're just watching these people exist, and like it's like almost like a character study for like 3 different people.
Yes.
And then the Manson family is thrown in there just for a little spice.
Yeah.
But when I was hearing about this movie, when all the press was like, oh, Tarantino's going to do a Manson movie, Manson family murders movie, I'm thinking like that's not really Tarantino's style to focus on a real life event and really expand it like the whole story. And that's when I started thinking. Like, then I saw this, saw the trailer. I'm like, oh, it's going to be in the background. I was like, okay, cool.
And from what I remember, it was originally scheduled to be released like 50 years on the anniversry of the murders.
Yep.
And everyone was like, no. Don't. So
Yeah, that probably wouldn't
And
be
pushed
a
like 2 weeks
PR
earlier or something like that.
which was the right call.
Well, they fucking handle it. Fucking handle it, Randy. Oh my god, that scene, the Bruce Lee scene, fantastic.
Dude, okay, so when I was like 13, I was like super into like I was into this debate, and instead of everyone's just like who could beat Bruce Lee in a fight, and I'm thinking maybe the Fonz, that's like the only thing I could think of, like American versus Western versus Eastern, the guys, right? And I had this whole debate in one of my old screenplays where it went on for like 10 pages. It's like, Bruce Lee would use his 1-inch punch, and it was a whole bunch of stuff, little arguments and stuff. And like I didn't think like an actual like director / writer like was involved in this debate, and he just does it. I'm just like shit, and because my argument was like Bruce Lee, he wouldn't really win in a fight because like mass would kind of, like I don't, however skilled you are, like you can still get taken down by like a boulder coming at you, right? So, and I like Tarantino just completely pulls out the rug from under him, just like fuck yeah, that's like,
I said not in
real vindicated moment,
Yeah, Jones got run over by a boulder. He didn't get run over by a boulder.
True.
If the boulder is Cassius Clay, then yes.
And there's this weird undercurrent that I think it's kind of around that time where we start to unlock Cliff a bit. Because sure, he's charismatic. He's driving around in a car. He can do weird like ninja jumps to get up on Rick's roof.
Yeah.
But maybe he killed his wife.
Yeah.
Might have killed his wife.
Yeah.
Well, that's the question. Did he kill his wife?
It's
Like
a weird undercurrent.
you just see him with the spear gun, like,
Yeah, I was really expecting it to go on for like a little bit longer, like the scene where they're on the boat together.
Like,
and
no,
then
that's
they just kind of cuts away. Like, it's like, I want to argue. And he's like, You're like, oh God, you might have actually done it.
It's kind of smart that they left that kind of like, up in the air. I like that because it's a talking point like this.
Yes.
Yes. What do you think? Did he kill his wife?
I don't know. I think he did, just because like Tarantino likes to frame his like broken antagonist-ish characters in a limelight. So I think he definitely has the capacity to do it, and he definitely takes out the Manson family without a second thought. So I think he has the.
He's also a veteran too. So I mean,
yes,
yeah, he has the compartmentalization and able to do that. So
I also agree.
I don't really see him caring about people. So
do we care that he killed his wife? Not really.
I mean, she seemed like a bitch anyway. I mean, but
yeah, I'd say he killed his wife too.
No, I
yeah, definitely.
And actually, for a definitive answer, you can pick up Quentin Tarantino's novelization of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood on paperback or hardcover.
Ooh.
Some smooth voiceover right there.
So does it ever reveal anything about that in the novelization?
Yes, there's a definitive answer, and yeah, he killed her.
He killed her. Okay, good.
Oh.
Good.
And also the book expounds on where Cliff got his dog, which I think is really funny.
Oh.
Turns out it's a dog fighting ring that Cliff finds
That
her in.
makes a lot of sense.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
why this dog is like commanded to like just turn into a death weapon. Like,
So did he do it out of like the kindness of his heart to take her out of that, or like
a guy owes him money,
yeah?
and so he's like,
so that sounds like Cliff.
"All right,
Yeah,
well, why not just give me a dog?"
yeah. Kills his wife. You know,
It's a dog from a dog fighting ring.
he's very pragmatic. He's like
Kills-
Mike
he
from
is.
Breaking Bad. You know, he's like he'll do something that is in his grasp. You know,
That's a fan casting I want. Mike Ehrmantraut as
My
Cliff Booth.
God.
Like
Maybe-
he has to get up on the roof. And he's like, "Arr."
well, maybe Jonathan Banks will be in in the next Tarantino, like his
That would be
last
amazing.
movie, right?
Oh my
Oh my
god,
God.
totally.
Just him and
And
Bryan Cranston. Just have them both.
they just, but they're both like named Mike and Walter. So he's like, Walter, you can't do that. And then Walter's just like, shut up, Mike. Let me cook my cocaine instead of meth. This is
Cook
in.
your cocaine. You cook your cocaine.
All right, let me mix my coke. I don't know how you make cocaine.
Well, exactly because we don't do drugs on this podcast.
Yeah.
We're clean
On this podcast.
Well, alcohol is a drug. We
and sugar. And
Well,
we used to be advocates.
yeah, we don't.
You have since rebranded, though. We are now
yes.
the health-
We have seen it before.
The next scene I really want to talk about is the Trudy scene where Trudy's talking to Jesus. Not Jesus. Not Jesus.
Jesus?
No,
talking to
not to
Rick.
Jesus.
Well, that reminds. Just a side note of. Remember that movie Black Phone?
Yeah.
Where the girl's like praying. She's like, Jesus, what the fuck? It's like a 6-year-old girl like pray because like her brother's missing or whatever. But I'm just like, that's the funniest scene.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta see that.
Movie's so good.
So funny.
So good. Yeah, it's what Scott Derrickson did instead of second Doctor Strange. That was so good. Anyway, yeah, so we're talking about, his life as an actor and how he's on the decline and doesn't want to give it up and everything. It's just a really sweet scene. Also with a little comedy in there, and it's just fantastic. Like a perfect casting in this movie for most people, I'd say.
Yeah. Who plays the little girl? Who plays Trudy?
I don't remember her name.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I don't know.
I don't know. From what I remember, she looks to me like the girl who plays Judith in The Walking Dead, but I might be way
I
off
don't
on
think
that.
it's her.
I don't know. I do know that she shows up in the new Spielberg, The Fablemans.
Oh, okay.
Really good as Sammy's sister, and she's also in I Think You Should Leave, the Netflix.
Oh,
sketch
really?
show.
I
She's
love
in
that show.
The Tammy Craps doll, the doll where workers have been farting in the head. And now they've removed the farts. They've removed the farts.
I just saw a clip from that where it's just like where they're stuck in traffic. He's like, "Don't you know how to fucking drive?" He's like, "No, I don't know how to drive. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing." He just genuinely doesn't know how to drive a car.
No, she's not Judith.
Okay.
But yeah.
The other funny one was like they're doing like a record or recording a song or whatever, and he's like,
skeletons came
"Hey Tom, is like, your name's Tom too." No, that's why I'm so fucking confused.
Anyways,
Yeah.
as you were saying, Dan.
No, I mean that's really about it. I just wanted to. What did you guys think of that scene? Because I thought it was one of the best scenes in the movie, just because it was so serious yet so nonchalant. And then the very next scene I just didn't really pay attention to too much, which was the actual like making of that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, but then I came back again with that was some of the best acting ever, and he's just like. Oh, Rick Dalton. Rick fucking Dalton.
But it's like this. So it's played for a comedy in that whole scene, but like you can really, I don't know. Leo plays it in a certain way where it's like this whole movie, he's playing like Tarantino's making fun of him, but like it's very like you can tell it's very serious for Rick, where he's like he feels he feels like he's waning in his acting career. And he's getting outshined by a 6-year-old actor, and she's like talking all professionally with him, and he's just like maybe I am at the end of my rope, and then and then he's even like I can tell in the scene where they're shooting that one scene in the bar, and they're redoing it, it's all in camera and stuff. The focus is on like the filmmaking, but then if you're paying attention to Leo, he's you can tell he's got so much on his mind, just thinking about like, oh, my career's dead. This is like my last kind of bit that I'm doing here.
8 fucking whiskey sours.
Yeah. So he's very focused, and I don't know, it's the way he plays it. He's somewhere else the entire time. He's like, oh fuck, I'm sorry guys, line, it's pissing everybody off, and then like So that's why when he gets into the trailer, it's like the blow up scene for the, it's like Rick, fucking don't, that I don't know, it adds like an extra layer of like poignancy,
Yeah. Stop your drinking now. Fuck.
It's great because Trudy makes him a better actor.
She does, and makes him, he's finally found that next step for his career, and it just he still has it. He still got it, and love that for his character.
Which is funny because you think of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood as just like idolizing like that generation, but I think the writing of Trudy is like, hey, the only way we can survive is with the next generation. Like we need a cycle. We need younger talent in Hollywood.
I want to get that so bad now.
All think of Sharon Tate's role in this movie.
I think it's.
Does she need to be there?
Yes.
That's my exact thought.
Yeah, no.
I mean,
it's a nice quiet scene where she's like seeing her own movie. Like as somebody who's like on a really small scale, as somebody who's made like a music video, I remember it being really cool to go to my premiere. It's just my living room, but I had a bunch of people around and we're all watching it. That feeling is really cool.
Yes.
So I can kind of understand what she's going through, and it kind of gets overshadowed by the foot scene, but
yeah. Everyone, a lot of people throw around love letter to the movies. This is a love letter to the movies. That scene is a real love letter to the movies. Because it also ties into what Rick's doing. He's working so freaking hard on just like one scene and like one line, and he keeps messing it up, and it's going to play for 1 second on television and everyone's going to forget about it.
Yeah.
Whereas Sharon, she's in that movie theater with like 5 other people, but they're all laughing. And she was like, you know what? That training was worth it when she was sparring with, I think was it Bruce Lee?
I think it was the same guy.
Yeah, it looked like it. And that was just like such a nice little rewarding moment.
yeah.
So there's a trivia fact here about that. So that same theater that she saw that movie in, Quentin Tarantino took a date there to see the movie True Romance, which he wrote the screenplay for. That exact theater. And that's, I think, another part of the love letter where he actually, it's more a part of him.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Love letter to himself.
Love letter to himself. Love letter to his career, in other words.
Yeah.
He's another waning director where he's getting kind of up there in age too, and it's...
And he knows it though, because like that's why he's so intent on the 10 movies thing.
Yeah.
That's why he considers he considers Kill Bill to be, Kill Bill 1 and 2 to be one movie. I don't know. I think they're two very different tonal movies to me. So
somebody rightfully said, I paid twice. It's 2 movies. I bought 2 tickets. I didn't buy 1 ticket.
Yeah, because if you're going to say that, then like that means that like, Harry Potter, Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2 are one movie. But like...
And
yeah,
do we
like you
count
said,
like
paid
4
twice.
rooms where he like directed like a part of it? Does that count?
Exactly. Yeah.
It gets messy.
I actually messed that up a little bit.
That's okay.
So it wasn't that exact theater, but he did take a theater to see a movie like that. But he has also been to that theater separately on a separate occasion.
Gotcha.
But like it's kind of a mix of the two. In other words,
Doesn't he own a theater?
He does. He owns
Does
the Cinerama, which is like a dome theater, and there's the New Beverly. That's like his theater, and it's only film. Because he's very much a stickler about 35 millimeter.
Yeah, of course.
Because he always shoots on film. And actually, I had the chance to see it on 35, and oh my God, so worth it. The movie theater that I was working at the time, the movies basically were the Aladdin remake, the Lion King remake, Annabelle, whatever, Toy Story 4, Spider-Man 15.
Reboots and cash grabs.
Reboots and cash grabs. And
Spider-Man 15 was my favorite one.
I'm sorry.
That was the one with the 15 different from the multiverse. No, I'm thinking of something else. That's a good one.
And then there's this movie, which is an original movie, kind of inspired by true events, shot on film with big actors in it. That was kind of the selling point of the movie. Is like Tarantino is one of our last like directors that I think is a household name. Like maybe him and Nolan.
Yeah.
Maybe Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele, and I would argue Chazelle's up there too. He's only made 3 movies, but he's helping out.
He's up and coming, if anything.
Yeah, he's helping out the original content area.
I think, we're gonna have you on that podcast for the next Damon Chazelle movie.
Very excited to talk about that.
Babylon. That's it.
You got
3 hours of. Here we go.
Cocaine and insanity.
Kind of basically the same thing as this, basically, kind of in a way.
Yes.
It's very reminiscent of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but hopefully, I don't want to say better because I like this movie a lot. I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But I'm expecting bigger things from this. I don't want to overhype myself.
I'm just excited for Tobey Maguire. Like he looks fucking awesome in it.
Yes,
You know?
people are comparing him to Alfred Molina in Boogie Nights, and I'm like, I am there. I am there. And both Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you mean?
Yeah.
she's really good.
You don't like Margot Robbie?
She's all right.
Yeah. But yeah, my fan theory for I've only seen the trailer and I know nothing about the movie. But my fan theory is that he is Nick. I think it's Nick Carraway from Great Gatsby. He's just kind of just like after Great Gatsby, he just like got really coked up and just hung out in Gatsby's mansion after that. And like that, this is the new character in Babylon.
Cool.
That's my fan theory.
Yeah, there's a little tease to our next movie eventually.
Stay
In
tuned.
the next month or so, we get that one out. So where are we in this movie? Oh, Sharon Tate. We were still talking about Sharon Tate.
Yes.
Is she
Yeah.
Gavin? We were on you. Do you think she's important to the story?
I mean, like, I like you were saying, I like the scenes that she's in. Like, no, she's not. I like the scenes that she's in. I like what like the premiere, and she's like hearing the people like woo yeah like in the background, and she's like, this is awesome. Like, oh my God. And you see like her practicing like the choreography for like the fight. But she doesn't really add much to the movie. Like whenever she kind of is just there.
She's there as a symbol, I think. And
Well, yeah, I think I'm not entirely certain, but like I thought Tarantino said something where like, he wants this movie to be the transition, or he says the Sharon Tate murder was like the transition from the innocence of like loss of innocence for Hollywood. I think that's what he was trying to go for. And like if he's trying to say that with this movie, of course you got to show the innocence first and then it being saved, but
Yeah.
yeah.
And Sharon Tate is also bringing in Roman Polanski, her husband at the time, played by somebody.
I forgot.
I'm sorry.
I'm on it.
Thank you, Dan.
He's our fact checker.
And I think Polanski is also kind of a big part of this movie.
I do not know how to pronounce that name.
That's fine. Should we just put it up at the bottom of the screen?
It's right here.
It's right here. You're going to have to make that.
Yeah.
Sorry. and so, Polanski's also, there's a couple little Easter eggs thrown in there. The bookstore that Sharon Tate goes to before she sees the Wrecking Crew. She picks up a book for her husband, The Test of the D'Urbervilles, which Polanski ended up adapting a couple years later. So like that was kind of a little foreshadowing that I think Tarantino threw in there. And then also the final crane shot could be a callback to Chinatown, which he made after Sharon Tate got murdered and he became totally disillusioned with California and made a movie about like, hey, California sucks. It's a great movie. Chinatown's like one of the classic noirs.
So moving on to the Spawn movie ranch. So we had Cliff Booth go in there to see what's his face.
George.
George. And then get all the Manson family members. They're living there, but they're giving horse tours through the mountains. Like it's like okay,
You gotta make a living
gotta
somehow.
Get your money.
I guess
gotta get your money somehow.
Yeah.
it's weird. Anyway, there's not much really to talk about in that scene except we get more of how Cliff Booth is just kind of a badass.
Yes. Yeah. And there's still some compassion going on with him because he still wants to make sure that George Spahn isn't being totally
taken advantage of. Yeah,
She totally is, but
yeah.
What are you gonna do?
I love when like he's about to leave and he's just like, she loves me, so suck on that.
And it's funny
That was
because
Dakota Fanning too, which is
Yes.
so jarring.
it's like Uptown Girls, just like, oh, it's the cute little, it's just like, take a shower. Like,
Yeah,
like,
right.
Honestly, oh my
and also Sydney Sweeney.
Oh yeah,
The Euphoria.
Oh
heads.
my God.
and Austin Butler. Yeah,
Mr. Elvis. But I really like Bruce Dern as George because it must have been a really nice role. You just put on your pajamas, you can just lay in bed for a while.
Yeah.
And then Brad Pitt kind of like nudges you a bit. But originally it was supposed to be Burt Reynolds.
Oh yeah.
Tarantino wanted Burt Reynolds in the role.
that would have been interesting.
Sadly, Burt Reynolds passed away before filming started, so they had to go with Bruce Dern. But I think Bruce Dern's phenomenal.
He did a great job.
Well,
For a
actually,
little
that
bit.
adds a little context to like what I'm thinking because now Burt Reynolds seems to me like what Cliff would be in his prime, or like Burt Reynolds' prime. So like in a way, and that changes the whole context for me, where it's like Cliff is looking at himself in the future, be like, hey, some shit's gonna, better watch out. Yeah. So that makes
Better
sense.
not cry.
What?
You should better watch out. I said better not cry.
I'll tell you why.
Seasonal. Happy holidays, everyone. You must have seen it before.
Sorry, anything else to say about Tex and all the Manson members there?
It's also a really nice like inversion of what we expect from Tarantino.
Yeah.
Like when he's going in, like it's so tense. Everyone's just like watching him. You get that shot right before he goes in, he turns around and there's just all these people staring at him. And you're expecting a bloodbath. You're expecting a Tarantino shoot him up, blood everywhere, and you just get a little bit of it.
Like I was like, oh, it all worked out. And then like you get the part with the car at the end. I'm like, there it is. There's Tarantino.
Yeah.
And
that was immensely satisfying though, just to see that. Like as soon as like, yeah, it's happening, good. Because like I don't know, car stuff, anything with that is just so visceral. You're like, oh, yes.
Oh man, shit.
Oh no.
Grogu. That's cool.
you knocked over the boy.
He didn't use the Force in time.
Oh no,
the child.
Oh my God, you fucked him up.
Oh, the
I'm
child.
Elite. All right.
There we go.
So basically, now we're in the third act. So, Rick goes to Italy to make the Italian movies, which he said he wasn't going to do. He ends up doing it. Comes home with a new wife.
Needs a paycheck.
Yeah, gets a paycheck. And then we get that final battle, which is just, it's the movie. It is literally the whole movie. Yeah. I didn't watch the last half hour of this. I don't remember every little part of it. So if somebody else wants to take over from here and kind of describe it.
Ironically,
I just want to say, it feels like it came out of nowhere. Because so this is like I only watched it one time. Like,
this is your first time seeing it.
The first time watching it. So when that first happened, I was like, where's this coming from? Like they just sort of showed up with like the knives and they're like, all right, we're gonna get him. And I was like, what? This is where this is going? Okay, cool. But yeah, it just sort of shows up, but it's I don't know. It's very weird.
Bloodbath.
But I love it though.
Yeah. The one thing that a couple things I want to mention. First of which is that phenomenal montage of the neon signs lighting up.
Yeah.
Oh
The
yeah.
Rolling Stones, Out of Time.
Yep.
It gets me every time. I get so emotional just thinking about it because it's such like you feel like, oh my gosh, there's half an hour left. No, I don't want to leave.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave this world. No, don't. And the Rolling Stones are literally saying, hey, baby, you're out of time. We're done. And then Kurt Russell's narration is very interesting to me because it almost becomes like a Dateline. At 12:59 p.m. Like he starts breaking it down like minute by minute, and it's like
as if like a true crime story kind of thing.
It's almost like a true crime
It's
story.
kind of like the Sharon Tate murder. So like it's leading up to that.
Exactly, because everyone in the audience is thinking, oh my gosh, at night the Manson family's going to come. Oh God, they're going to come. They're going to come.
Yeah, because after the first Manson family scene, you're thinking, oh, this is where it's leading, and then pulls a switcheroo on you,
Switcheroo.
But yeah. Speaking of the of the Italian thing, I think whenever I think about this movie, I think of like the Italian movie kind of when they're on the plane.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
But and then I think of like Cliff and Rick's kind of relationship in this movie where they're just he's just his bodyguard, but like Cliff is to Rick. Cliff is his only friend. Really is only like his only like where he can be honest about like be truly himself. But then it's kind of like a little sad because Cliff isn't really he's everybody's equal, or like he has contacts with everyone and I think he's really closed off emotionally. So I don't know, for some reason when I think he's on the plane, he has something to do with like his wife, his new wife or whatever. But like they're not like a thing, he's just purely out of like a Hollywood marriage, like they're just purely for the looks and the PR.
The impending nepotism.
Yeah.
Yes. Rick is sitting up in first class with his nice drink and the little toothpick. Cliff's stuck in the back with a guy reclining his chair too far back. And he's like, well, we're already starting to drift apart. It's very sad.
Yep. The only thing I remember from that final battle is Cliff throwing a can at someone's face and then the
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. That's like probably the most visceral like scene of action to me because it's like right in the nose. You know, it's just like oh.
And then he's slamming the head in the door.
Oh,
the
yep,
telephone
yep.
pole.
Telephone pole, like the fireplace or whatever.
The mantle.
Dogs.
like-
Oh my god, the dog.
And that I don't know who that actress is that's getting attacked. Her screams are incredible.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
I always like flinch. I'm like, oh.
Well, she has a knack for being lit on fire because she's also lit in fire in Scream. She's the villain in that. Yeah,
Funny.
I guess that's her gig.
I
you
guess
know?
that's her. Yeah, she's typecast as a burner. I don't know.
We got a burner.
But yeah, like I actually, it's funny you mentioned that because like while I was watching it, I had like the volume turned up really loud, and like my upstairs neighbors were home, and I was like, I'm just gonna like turn this down a little bit because like it sounded like.
Gavin, stop murdering people in your room.
Yeah, you know, like
It's like, no, it's Tarantino killing people. But yeah, like the dog is like gnawing on that guy's stuff for like a long time.
Yes.
You know, like, and you hear him screaming in the background, like, ah. You know?
Oh,
That was one of those moments where, if you're lucky enough to see it in a theater,
Yeah.
everyone just
yeah.
loses it. Fuck 'em up. It's so satisfying.
it got like a huge standing ovation at the Cannes,
You can say
Cannes, yeah, film festival.
Yeah.
From what I remember.
Yeah, I mean, but like, I don't know how much to like really believe. Like, didn't one of his movies got like a 30-minute standing
Yeah,
ovation?
what is it like? Pan's Labyrinth got like a 21-minute. Like, imagine clapping for 21 minutes. Just
That's
imagine that.
crazy.
It's
How?
Yeah.
How do you clap for 21 minutes?
They come in
Without
waves.
without
Like, is
feeling
everyone
like
just
a
kind of
dummy?
like chilling, just like standing around? Like, they have to exaggerate it somehow. You can't be like the same, at least the same energy. Like, oh my god, yeah!
I know
21 minutes
you
later,
were
like,
waiting for the whale. We've heard that one has gotten like a 6 or 7 minute standing ovation.
yeah,
for
that's
Brendan
a
Fraser.
long time
So,
if you think
like,
about it. You know?
And sadly, I don't think that's coming anywhere around here through that movie.
We'll see. We'll see.
you think everyone there just kind of has it in their mind, like, yeah, we're gonna be like this super long clap, like, and when people stop clapping, like the person next to them,
It's like, not yet.
stop. Hey,
No, it's
hey,
like it
come on,
starts to
keep
slow
going.
down. That
Don't
one
ruin
person's
this
like,
for us.
yeah.
Oh no.
Oh no!
You gotta quit that.
Oh
We gotta
no!
glue him down.
Bro,
or
hold him.
something.
Yeah, hold the boy.
There you go.
Go. Little man.
I will say I like the build up to that when like what's his face just like has the gun pointed at Cliff. He's like, I'm the devil. I'm here to do the devil's work or something. And Cliff is just like stoned. He's just like, just like laughing at each other.
Oh, wait, doesn't he say it was like, who's this? That's the devil. Oh, wait, no.
Oh, something stupider than that.
Yeah, and like when he's talking to the cops at the end, he's just like, he said he was the devil. He was here to do devil shit.
That's the line I was trying to remember because I couldn't remember it. And it was so funny.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But this movie overall, man, it's just so well done in every aspect: production design, acting, directing. Like, just
Yeah.
it deserved all the nominations it got.
I think the funniest part of this movie is just how like boomer, like old man, like Rick is right before he grabs the, like, you know, he's just chilling in his pool, and the girl comes out screaming. He's like, what the fuck? And he's just like, you know, he's like, I'm fucking done with these fucking hippies, you know. And he just nonchalantly walks over. He was all disgruntled. He walks over to the shed. He just like nonchalantly just sprays her with the fucking flamethrower. Like,
Yeah, I thought he was like running away. I didn't even know at first where he was
yeah,
going. And I'm
he's
like,
just I'm done with these hippies, man.
Yeah.
Oh my god. And who would give an actor a real life flamethrower, a working flamethrower?
know.
Yeah.
Like,
Gotta
at
do
the
something
time,
about
wouldn't
that
that be
heat.
like military only? Like, you know?
Probably.
You would think. You would think.
Jeez.
Yeah. So, all right. I think we're running low on time here, guys. So, any last thoughts on this movie before we rate it?
I think it's everything that he had worked up to in his career. I think this is the apex of his career. He says he's going to make one last movie. I hope it's an original one, and I hope it's good.
Yeah. All right. Gavin?
It was interesting. It wasn't what I was expecting when I hear Tarantino. But yeah, I think it was great. I think it was like a love letter to just like cinema in general. I loved seeing all the like old like filming techniques, shot on like the old like 8mm, 35mm, whatever filmed. I loved the scene where they put Leo in The Great Escape.
Oh yeah,
I just want to touch on that.
Yeah.
Because that was
The
really
rare
cool.
use of CGI by Quentin Tarantino.
yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to go back to the point where like the love letter to cinema. It's used as like the meme for like a lot of stuff right now. But when Rick's like, hey, he's like points, it's like, oh, it's me on TV. That's like the little kid lighting up in him. It's like, hey, that's me on TV. Oh my god, it's crazy, So I just like that. That's got to be how Tarantino feels when he's like, oh, that shot I did. It's like, I thought about it. Like,
I made that.
I made that. So this is definitely like Tarantino in his element, and just doing what he wants. This is like one for them, one for me, right? And lately Tarantino's, I think he did his career out of order. He's like a lot of ones for them, and then lately with these like period pieces, like one for me, like especially changing history, and that's why like one of the rare movies to like really end on a super happy note for Tarantino,
Yeah. Even though it was a bloodbath.
Yes. Like I think Django Unchained does it too.
They satisfying ending.
Hateful Eight, everyone's dead.
Yeah, Hateful Eight's a really depressing ending.
Sam
Where it's
Jackson's
like,
just like holding on for dear life.
yeah, I was absolutely sad when
I
like
saw
he's
that
just
movie
like,
once.
Yeah, I've yet to go back to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like how does Reservoir Dogs end? Everyone dies in that one.
Oh yeah, everyone's gone.
Pulp Fiction. Technically, the end of the movie is Zed's dead, baby. Zed's dead. And then
Kill
Bill, she
she rides off into the sunset. Right? I would have never guessed that. Oh, so Paul at work, he has a good theory for like he always wants
Which Paul? We have like a lot of Pauls.
Pooh. Okay. He wants his last movie to be Kill Bill 3, and he said he lines it up perfectly with to be I forgot her name. The demolitions expert, her daughter. She Kiddo lets her live. So she's gonna come back. So now it's Kill the Bride or Kill Kiddo or something like that.
Okay. All
So that'd be Kill Bill 3. So that's a cool idea. But
I don't remember the Kill Bill movies, honestly.
those like Sepp hated that one. I'm just like, well, that's the point. It's like it's supposed to be like kung fu-y and like super schlocky and that's
no, it doesn't have the depth of this.
Yeah, this one definitely is very more like well thought about.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that one ends with like a kung fu technique that makes someone's heart explode. Yeah, I can't remember what they call it.
That's so fucking awesome, though.
Yeah.
Wild. All right, Danny, what do you give it?
I give this one. So I don't think it's his best. Inglourious Basterds is a soft spot for me. So I can't rate it higher than that. I think I gave Inglourious Basterds like a 95 or something. So I'm gonna give this one a 90.
90.
It's almost perfect.
Yeah, I'm gonna give this one an 89. I was close to yours. I was thinking. I don't think it's
different.
It's not quite a 90 just because of like all the dead space in the movie that nothing's happening, and Margot Robbie just isn't needed to me. But I get it. I get the symbolism, but I just don't think she's needed in this movie. That's why it's an 89 for me.
I'm an easy grader just because I have no room in my heart for negativity, I guess. It's 100.
There you go.
100.
Is it your favorite one?
Yes. My favorite Tarantino. But also, it's not my favorite movie that came out in 2019.
Okay.
Because Uncut Gems exists.
Oh, yeah. We still have yet to do that one.
That was great.
It is.
Talk about a performance of a lifetime.
I would actually recommend that you don't have me on because you guys won't get a word in edgewise
That's
if
fine.
you ever talk about it.
That's fine.
It's fine. We get tired of talking.
Maybe that'll be Gavin's next one.
Lion King remake was number 3 of you.
Gavin, that might be your next one, Uncut Gems. But maybe. Anyway.
I'd give it an 80.
An 80?
Yeah,
Okay.
I liked it. I think I want to rewatch it though.
Yeah, it's definitely rewatchability.
Yeah.
It's got that.
Because like, I don't know. I feel like I might have missed a few things the first time through, so. But solid though. I really liked it.
Next time you rewatch it, have a whiskey sour.
Eight of them.
I'll have
Eight
8.
of them.
Yes, I'll have 8. Then I'll have to watch it another time.
Remember, you're Rick fucking Dalton.
Gavin fucking Leach.
All right.
Drinking Wednesday. Fuck.
All right. Well, I think we're wrapping this one up
Yeah.
here. So yeah, we're seeing it before. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with the handle SC. Start that again. Well, I think we're wrapping it up here. So you can find us. Nope. Wow, I have not messed this
Line.
up so long. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok with the handle Seen It Before. Damn it!
Dan fucking Walker. At Seen It Before Cast.
I know what it is!
Or Twitter
Before.
at SIB_pod. He's Dan. I'm Danny. You can find me on Instagram at Danny_Was, or my letterbox and serialized at DJ Was, or on my YouTube channel, which is just Danny Was. And you guys like to plug anything?
No, you can find me on Letterboxd, Cam Kircher.
It's down there on the graphic.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, we've got a very nice little graphic. It's very nice.
Don't look for me.
Don't look for me.
There's a lot of people who don't like plug anything, so I have like a big list of CGs where it's just their names, like
Just the
Gavin,
names, yep.
Joe, like no last names either, you know.
All right.
But I like it, anonymity.
Yeah, mom's
All
the
right.
word.
Well, Cam, we look forward to having you on Babylon in the next month or so. Gavin, we'll get you on again soon.
I'm sure.
As for the rest of you, it's been an honor as usual. We'll see you next time.